Welcome, folks, to the Afterthought here, and welcome to my playoff prediction. Now we're going to review the second round, and of course, as always, I promised you a preview. You know what I'm saying? Just this is my picks for this weekend coming up. We're going to start with the AFC. Now, Tennessee basically surprised me, and they basically brought their A game. I told y'all the only way the Tennessee was going to beat Kansas City is Mariota made smarter plays than Alex Smith. See, the problem with the Chiefs is it could be just Alex Smith. They just were using the wrong quarterback. Because Andy Reid's system has proven to work. Okay, it worked for Donovan McNabb. He has gotten to the Super Bowl before. But see, McNabb was a lot better quarterback than Alex Smith. Okay, he was a better passer. Okay, he had more size than Smith. Alex Smith, to be his time, is just up. Alex Smith is one of those quarterbacks that need to retire. He's going to be retiring maybe next season. So, because I don't see him going any further. If he don't retire, then he's going to be released, and I don't know if anybody's picking him up. Or he could just be on the wrong team. I think Alex Smith needs to go somewhere else, but yeah, it's just not working out with Alex Smith. To me, his time and era has basically up. Okay, the Chiefs need to go with Patrick Mahomes in second and basically make him the new starter because it's just not working out with Alex Smith. Okay, too many players have figured him out already. They say he's getting older now. He's just not getting you to a Super Bowl. Okay, he's had plenty of opportunities now for like the last 8, 9, going on 9 years, and still nothing has happened with him. So to me, that's the Chiefs' downfall. I'm not going to put completely the blame on Andy Reid because Andy Reid has had some great seasons, even with Kansas City. Man, the man did get close last year. So maybe it's just the players. So maybe it's just the quarterback, and then plus the Chiefs need more help offensively because they couldn't afford to keep Jerry Maclin anyway. But the Titans, you know what I'm saying, they did that. They made a comeback. Derrick Henry turned into the Alabama Derrick Henry. Mariota turned into the Oregon Mariota. But for this round, I'm giving it to New England. I don't think Tennessee has enough to beat the Patriots. The Patriots are a far better team, is what we see. And this Tennessee Titans team, they're young. I mean, the only veteran they really have on that team is DeMarco Murray. Because they don't even have they don't have McCourty neither. One of the McCourty trends. He left already. I think he went to Cleveland. Yeah, he went to Cleveland in the offseason, so he's not even there no more. Still, man, it's a great team. It's an underrated defense. I give Tennessee that. They played a great season. You know what I'm saying? Tennessee has a lot to be thankful for. They've actually accomplished something that nobody else thought they would accomplish, and that's make it to the second round of the playoffs for the first time in years. Okay, I think since 2009, 2008 was the last time Tennessee Titans actually even made the playoffs. And now finally they broke free. So, again, man, they've had a great season, but I doubt they're beating New England. Okay, they're not Jacksonville. Jacksonville was playing New England, then I could see them getting upset. But even if I think the Chiefs would have had a better chance against New England. But like I said, I mean, if Alex Smith couldn't even make the right kind of plays to beat Tennessee, then he definitely wasn't going to beat no New England either. So I got Patriots getting a win. They're going to go to the AFC Championship. That's my prediction. And then below us is a rematch, okay? The last time Pittsburgh and Jacksonville actually played each other was in the 2007 wild card. Okay, that was a young Roethlisberger who had a young Jerome Harrison. You had Willie Parker back then. And then in Stan Antonio Brown, you had Hines Ward. For those that remember who Hines Ward was. Of course, y'all know who Polamalu is. That was the Steelers team from back then. But still, that Jacksonville Jaguar team survived Pittsburgh making a comeback. That was led by Maurice Jones-Drew. You had Byron Leftwich, Fred Taylor. And then Jack Del Rio was the coach. Still, that Jaguar team wasn't that bad, but they're not as talented as this Jaguar team. I think this Jaguar team defensively may have a chance to go all the way. Because, again, the Jaguars got something they didn't have back then, and that's Tom Coughlin. For those that know about Tom Coughlin is a defensive genius, okay? He's a guru at making the right defensive plays, putting the right players together defensively that can slow down any offense, okay? Now, I got Pittsburgh taking this game only because Pittsburgh is a better playoff team. They're a veteran team. This team that Pittsburgh has on their roster has been there in the last 4 years, whereas Jacksonville just now coming back in there. So I don't know if Jacksonville is going to be able to beat a veteran Pittsburgh team, but hey, who knows what could happen? Okay, because see, some teams in this league just match up better against other teams. To me, Jacksonville has a defense that matches up against Pittsburgh. Okay, so the only way the Jacksonville Jaguars will beat Pittsburgh is if they're able to get hands on Roethlisberger. If they don't give Big Ben enough time in the pocket, and they force Big Ben to have to try to put it on the ground, if they force him to make, like I said, if they can get to him to interrupt his rhythm, because for starters, Antonio Brown is not 100%. We don't know what type of Antonio Brown we're gonna get. If Antonio Brown is not fully healthy by this game, then that's gonna be a factor right there. Also, Le'Veon Bell has to stay healthy. If Le'Veon Bell can stay healthy enough to try to control the game, then the Steelers can win. But if the Jacksonville Jaguars are able to knock Le'Veon Bell out like what happened to him last year, then the Steelers are once again in trouble. So for Pittsburgh, you better hope Le'Veon Bell can stay healthy for this game. Or else, like I said, they're not going to beat Jacksonville. Because against Buffalo was also a great defensive team. There's a reason why Jacksonville had a low-scoring game against Bills, because Bills had a defensive line. I told y'all, man, Kyle Williams was amazing for them. Tyrod Taylor got hurt in that game, but Jacksonville barely survived that because of the defense. Pittsburgh don't have that type of defense, okay? Pittsburgh defense, I told you, their safeties, their DBs are suspect. Their safeties are definitely lagging. Okay, I told y'all that. Pittsburgh has a weakness against the safeties. So I'm gonna give Pittsburgh this win. I'm predicting a win only because it's a good veteran team and Tomlin. The one thing about Mike Tomlin, it's hard to beat him twice, but Jacksonville does have an edge over it. They do have the advantage, only for a simple fact. The Jacksonville Jaguars played Steelers hard the last time they played them. The Jacksonville Jaguars blew Pittsburgh by 30-some points against the Steelers team. So with that being said, Jacksonville has confidence right now. They just got out the first round. They amped up. So Pittsburgh just going to have to bring the A game. If Pittsburgh don't bring the A game, they're not going to win it. Next on the NFC, Atlanta and Philadelphia. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give Atlanta the win over Philly only because they're defending NFC champions. Okay, this team has been to the NFC championship last year with the same exact team. The only thing that's changed is that Kyle Shanahan's not there. But still, you got the same offense. You got Freeman, you got Julio Jones, Sanu. We see what he did last game. Matt Ryan can still make plays, and you still got a great defense. Okay? But for the Eagles, I think Eagles defensively is better than Atlanta. I say that, because to me, Malcolm Jenkins is a true veteran. Philly, they got the DBs. The only problem is just Nick Foles. Okay, like I said, Nick Foles is not Carson Wentz. Even though Nick Foles, like I told you, he's led this team to the playoffs before, but he's never made it to the second round. So he's going to be in a lot of pressure right now. I think Atlanta's going to give it to Nick Foles. Nick Foles cannot be nervous. He can't be like Jared Goff did, in the last game. Jared Goff played nervous against that game against Atlanta. That's why LA lost because the first half they were just scared. Like they were just not playing themselves. They did not have that confidence. So for Nick Foles, you got to have that confidence right now because now you're given a second chance to lead your team to a championship. Nick Foles now has a second opportunity to do what he last left off. Okay, because remember, Nick Foles suffered that injury just the season after 2013 that basically ultimately changed his fate in Philly because they traded him just a season after. Okay, he took the Eagles to the playoffs in 2013. They beat the Saints, but then they lose in the second round. The following year he gets hurt in 2014. They trade him over to the Rams in St. Louis. And from then on, like I said, he's just been in limbo. Now Carson Wentz gets injured this season. Now he has a chance to start again. So we'll see what Nick Foles does. We'll see if he's had any wisdom as he actually changed his gameplay from the last time. So that'll decide the Eagles' fate is Nick Foles. Can Nick Foles make the right plays offensively? Can he find open guys? Because for one, he got one of the best running backs in the league. J.R. Ajayi to me is just as good as Devontae Freeman. All right, he's just as tough. So you at least have that going for you. And you have Zach Ertz, who's a veteran tight end, who's way better than way better than Hooper. But Matt Ryan does have a lot of weapons. Okay, he's a fast-paced team. He can get off early. So for the Eagles, like I said, they get you to do what the Rams didn't do, and that slow the Falcons down. Get Falcons to go scoreless. And for Atlanta, okay, they can't let deja vu affect them because as we see for those that watch the college football championships on Monday, you seen that Georgia suffered the same fate as the Atlanta Falcons last year, but in a different format, in a different way. You see, the Georgia Bulldogs gave up a 20-point lead, and for some reason, the quarterback got scoreless. He couldn't even score He couldn't score a touchdown in the fourth quarter. So then Alabama just kept pounding them away defensively, kept field goals, kept chipping away from them, and then got it into overtime and scored that last touchdown. So that was a very disappointing loss for the Bulldogs. I mean, it was a great finish, just disappointing for them. So for the Falcons, they can't be that same type of team no more. They got to show everybody they are a different team than last year. That last year they learned from the mistakes. Because if not, they're going to be the same team as the Georgia Bulldogs, just a disappointment every single year, which is terrible right now. But again, I don't see Atlanta losing to the Eagles. But like I say, the Eagles defensively is going to bring it. So, but then I got Atlanta coming out of Philadelphia. Next, this is going to be the most. This is going to be game of the week right here. This is going to be the most watched. Both New Orleans and Minnesota, they have history like Pittsburgh and Jacksonville. Okay, remember the last time these two teams played each other was in the NFC Championship in the playoffs back in 2009-2010. The year the Saints went all the way and won it all. That's when Brett Favre was a quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. But the Saints had his number. They had him shut out. They read Brett Favre. They picked him up 3 times. Still, Brett Favre fought. You had a young Adrian Peterson. That was in his prime. Okay? I mean, Adrian Peterson's on fire then. I mean, unstoppable. Still, the Saints hit Peterson hard. But Peterson still, carried Vikings throughout that game. He still gave him a good matchup. And for the Saints, they just beat Cam Newton. They outplayed Cam. They got the Cam Newton. They put the helmets on him. Defensively, they was able to stop the Panthers. So I'll give them that. The Saints proving like they're ready. They're a team that's ready to go all the way like they did back in 2009-2010. Sean Payton is one of the best coaches right now. To me, Sean Payton is the best coach in the NFC right now. Over Ron Rivera, over Bill O'Brien, over Dan O'Quinn, over Zimmerman and Peterson, he is the best coach. He's the only coach right now with a ring. Okay, he's, like I say, out of all these veteran coaches, he's the only one who's ever won a championship and actually did it. Okay, and went all the way. Of course, he didn't do it against New England, but Peyton Manning was hard back then. Okay, the Colts was a team to be reckoned with. That was a team to face in the AFC back then. The Colts had actually previously won a Super Bowl in that decade, and the Saints was able to do it. Okay, and that was a young Saints team back then. Now, Drew Brees has some playmakers. Okay, so I think Saints offense and defense is solid. I still got to give it to Minnesota. I got Minnesota beating the Saints only because Minnesota has home field advantage. They're inspired right now. Okay, but for Minnesota, they got to leave Sam Bradford on the bench. Okay, you do not start Sam Bradford over Chase Keenum. If you do that, then the Vikings basically going to lose this game because Sam Bradford cannot handle the pressure. To put Sam Bradford back in would be a terrible mistake. And plus, you can't put Sam Bradford in over Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater earned his chance to come back and try to at least win it for him. But Chase Keenum is just hot right now. He's played the majority of his game. So Chase Keenum knows this offense. I'll give Chase Keenum a chance to try to win it and lead this team to the promised land. That's what I'll do. I'll lead Chase Keenum in. You don't want to mess up Chase Keenum's momentum. But to me, the Vikings do have a team that can beat New Orleans. Okay, like I said, New Orleans is solid. So to me, this is going to be the best game of this weekend. The other game, I say Pittsburgh and Jacksonville is going to be good, but I say Minnesota and New Orleans. Either one of these two teams right now, the winner out of the Saints and Vikings, this might be the team going into the Super Bowl. Because there's no doubt in my mind that either one of these teams can beat Atlanta. And they can definitely beat Philadelphia. I'm not knocking that at all, but the Saints and the Vikings, they could both defeat the Falcons. Like I said, they got offense and defense that I don't think the Falcons can basically overcome if they play them. We'll have to see. But again, that's my predictions. I got Minnesota over New Orleans, Atlanta over Philadelphia. I got Pittsburgh beating Jacksonville, and I got New England basically pounding Tennessee. And that might be a blowout anyway, so just get ready for that. Anyways, that's my playoff predictions for this weekend. Stay tuned because I'm going to do the conference championships next week. Y'all stay blessed. Stay tuned. I'll see you soon.